I am a ex-Stutter, and even more importantly than that, finally happened.
The best achievement in my life.
I will not take this blessing for granted.
Your program means a world to me. You're from Stuttering is possible.
I am not the same person I was a year ago, and I owe it all to this program. Not only has this program helped my speech, but it's helped me become a whole person, a more giving person, a more caring person. See guys, prior to this program, I was a toxic person, all right? Years and years of not being able to express myself corroded my soul, and I sincerely mean that. I came across Lee's book, and by the way, Lee, I love the cover. The cover was very enticing. And I read the reviews on Amazon, 150 or so of this book is life-changing, this is the real deal, the real McCoy, so on and so forth. And I went to the website, and there was a video of Lee talking about the program, and then there was a chapter of his book. And first I watched the video, and I thought Lee looked cool. I thought he looked like Johnny Cash or something with the hair. You know, I was like, oh man, this guy's cool, all right. Or maybe, you know, Ric Flair or something. And then I read a chapter of his book, and I could tell by the way he had described his experience in the book that he himself had stuttered and beaten it. And this was the first person I had ever heard of who self-cured. My speech is unrecognizable now, and I feel I owe it to Lee, everyone here, and I got the results by doing the work day in and day out. You know, I was diligent, I was assiduous, I practiced like my life depended on it, because it did. Lee to me is Lee is like the Martin Scorsese to my Robert De Niro, my Bill Belichick to my Tom Brady, and dare I say, my Dr. Dre to my Eminem. I'm not a comedian, I'm a storyteller, I'm an artist. But most importantly, I am a ex-Stutterer. And even more importantly than that, I'm finally happy.
Found on Facebook Lee's book. I wasted a lot of money in therapists, so let's try the book. And I started reading the book. In Lee's Facebook profile, there was the link for some meeting. So I joined it, and I remember the first time that I joined it, that I stuttered really badly. And then Lee proposed me to help me, proposed to do some coaching session with him. He motivated me a lot when things didn't go well. And with him, we learned the crutches even more better. So he motivated me to never give up. And we analyzed every bad situation that happened to me, and we found a solution for everyone. And so little by little, reading the book, do mind training, do the coaching session with Lee, joining some meeting, and even if I didn't talk so much, just say one sentence meant a lot to me, because you can expand your comfort zone little by little. And I started to notice a lot of improvement in my daily life. And for instance, this winter, I came back home to visit my parents, and I remember that my father said, "Wow, you are so fluent. I'm really happy for you. It's amazing." So one of the best moments in my life, I think, because he was so proud of me. And I was really happy. The path for me is very long, because I stuttered for 30 years. So my fluency memory, that I have to work to feel my fluency memory. But just for the moment, my life has completely changed. So I'm able to call the doctor, for instance, is a basic thing, but I can do it. And for instance, yesterday I had 5-6 hours of job interview, and I was so focusing on what I was doing that I forgot to stutter. And that's, for me, the best achievement in my life.
Done anything. I was trying anything to find something that would help me in any way. I was on the internet for days just looking for anything, books, methods, all sorts of things. And fortunately, I stumbled upon Lee's book. And that's why Lee's book came at such a great time for me. And I saw that the reviews were breathtaking. I was stunned at how great they were. So I knew I had to give it a shot. So the results came pretty quickly for me. Right off the bat, I was seeing huge upticks in fluency, and this led to a huge increase in confidence, happiness, and reduced my anxiety. My advice to those PWS are to stick with methods. They work, but you have to stick with them. And I know you're going to get discouraged. There are days where you do get discouraged. Trust me, I've been there. You question it. You have your doubts, and you should have doubts about like whatever you're doing. You shouldn't just believe 100% like right off the bat. That's just not normal. But when you have a program like this and it's coming from someone who beat it and experienced it, and you can tell when you read the book right off the bat that Lee was someone that definitely struggled with it. Some of the things that he talks about, you're like, wow, there's someone else out here that goes through the same thing as me. It's very comforting and very easing. So, but just like I said, there will be highs and lows, but everything you need to succeed is written in this book. I would like to thank Lee Lovett for his life-changing book. Lee's provided me with the tools that I needed to become stutter-free. If you would have told me 11 months ago now that I'd be able to get up here and give a presentation for 10 minutes in front of a pretty large group without blocking a lot, I would tell you you're nuts. I couldn't be more thankful for what you've done for me and what you've done for countless other PWS around the world. I would also like to thank my wonderful speech coach, Prathusha, for all the time she's put in, and I know she's very busy, and for her to give up her time to help me means a lot. She's been great not only for her coaching ability, but for her kindness and for her dedication. Can't put into words how thankful I am for her help. Starting my journey as a PWSS is incredibly exciting. Happier now than I've been in a long time. Even though I've been declared a PWSS, I know there's still plenty of work to be done. I will continue to work on loving to speak anywhere, anytime. And I will not take this blessing for granted. I will continue to follow the program and do my best to become a phenomenal speaker.
How I stumbled upon Lee's book. What stirred up my interest was that for the first time, the method was described as a cure for stuttering. Not only something that would improve your stuttering, right? So when I started reading it, it became clear that the author really knew what he was talking about, that he experienced it firsthand. Just from reading the book, my speech improved, but it wasn't enough, obviously. I had to be consistent and really apply 1-2-3 punch. Lee kindly agreed to coach me. Although the book itself explains a lot in terms of theory and practice of this method, as well as do coaching videos, I realized that personal coaching was the main factor that sped up my progress and enabled me to really understand how to apply this method. I'm eternally grateful to Lee for his willingness to coach me, for his time, for his personal interest in my speech, in how I was doing. Without Lee and his program, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now. I am very grateful to all the coaches. I benefited a lot from your coaching sessions with others, from your tips that you generously shared on practice sessions and some meetings. Also very grateful for its community. The fact that from the beginning, I was able to connect with people who were working on the same issue meant the world to me and extremely helped me to cure. And for the first time in my life, in my 27-year-old life, I was able on a long term to communicate with people without appearing speech disabled. And I expect my speech to become even better in the future. I'm finally happy. I found my voice. I can finally show who I really am. So thank you, Lee, once again for everything. Your program means a world to me. A cure from stuttering is possible.
I found a book which was written by Lovett. I also watched his videos on YouTube, and then I realized that Lee's methods are really unique and they have the potential to overcome my stutters and my fears. Then I read his book completely, and then I mailed him about telling my experiences and what I learned throughout his book. And in response, after that, Lee assigned Pratyusha to coach me so that I could learn the crutches in a much better way. And I even started to see major improvements in my speech. I was so happy at that time because I no longer stutter. Now, I don't think of stuttering anymore. And my speaking style has also improved because I keep following Lee's methods and what Pratyusha has taught me. I would like to thank Lee for writing such an extraordinary book about stuttering. And I would really like to thank Pratyusha also for the time and the efforts she put in to help me with my speech. Because for me, speech is my life. And I really want to thank you for changing my life and helping me to become a better version of myself. And last but not the least, I would like to thank SSC for providing such an fluent platform, because the video lessons and the library has truly changed my life. There is so much to learn from these videos, and I have crossed the first milestone, which is overcoming the stutter, but the course is not complete yet, because now that I have become a PWSS, I need to focus on the next goal, which is loving to speak.
Met with various counselors and speech therapists throughout my life, trying to understand what is happening to me, like why am I all of a sudden doing this? Didn't get rid of it, and I remember at that point I'm like, I need to try to see someone again. And she basically told me that I was never going to get rid of stuttering and that I needed to make peace with it and accept it. And my whole life, even that, I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, because why can I speak fluently sometimes then? Like, I don't understand why I can't do it all the time. I need someone to help me speak fluently almost all the time. Why can I not do that? And as a psych major and an avid logical thinker, I thought that was possible. And it wasn't until I came across Lee's book on Amazon in 2019 that I finally felt I wasn't alone in this belief. On the cover, it says, if I can say one word anywhere, anytime, I can say any word anywhere, anytime. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I've been thinking. And as I started to read the book, I started to feel relief. There were people who trained themselves to not stutter anymore. Like, that's what I've been looking for. Lee provided so much support. It made me truly believe that I could get through this when no one else did. I joke with him that I messed up his average timeline for program completion, because I took a little longer than others in the program at 7 months. But as I mentioned before, I had to get here in my own way. Stuttering is a form of perfectionism. And I didn't really realize that, again, until this moment. That's why we're doing it. Because we want to sound perfectly fluent. We don't want to be embarrassed. We want to appear intelligent. We want to impress other people. But stuttering only exists out of fear, and fear is actually not real. Fear is what we do up here. So I was like, why am I subjecting myself to this stress? I'm so grateful for this program and that Lee helped to build this program as a resource and also a source of hope, while other therapy or organizations simply want you to accept that you stutter and move on, but you don't have to stutter. So to close, trust yourself, make the effort, face and deal with your anxiety, make the decision that you will stop stressing yourself out for other people, and make yourself your number one priority. Say, I'm not going to do it anymore. Don't give up, you can do this too. And a quote from the Daily Stoic, we should enjoy this brief time we have on earth, not be enslaved to emotions that make us miserable and dissatisfied.
What I was doing at the time was I was watching the coaching sessions that Lee was posting on YouTube, and I found them amazing, And once again, in those sessions, I discovered that SAC was available, joined it straight away. And I've watched, I'm tempted to say maybe 100 coaching sessions. And those were very, very useful because when I was watching coaching sessions, I was pretending I was the guy being coached. So that was, was amazing. And then after a while, I was assigned to Leah, very nice coach. I really appreciate what she did to me because she was very straight to the point. And also she was very, how can I say it in English? She was always there, especially from the psychological aspects. And we know that stuttering is mostly a mind problem, where if not 99.9%. So that was very, very useful sessions with Leah, obviously. And Lee is the king, so there's not much to say really. He's the guy, he knows how to help. He gave really straight to the point and very direct tips just for my problems. One of which was to speak slowly and to insert more pauses, which is something that I'm not doing right now, even though I have it here. And I'm still working on that, Lee, don't worry. Another very important thing that I did was I started to attend some meetings, realized that there was another Italian person there, and this person is Silvia, and she was extremely kind, and she told me that she was having practice sessions with some other members. The sessions with these guys were amazing, and I'm now working on loving to speak. Basically, that's it. I also believe that anxiety is not really the main cause. I would say the main cause is this bad habit that we have saved in our brain, maybe caused initially by a strong anxiety moment. However, anxiety can make things worse. I've seen this with myself, for sure. So we have to break the automatic chain of events that lead to stuttering. Crutches really help. Everything we do really helps regarding Lee's method. We really have to move 0.5 millimeter, that small gap from thinking about what we're going to say. We just have to focus on the message, which is very easy to say and difficult to do, but that's life. So not much we can do really about it, except practice.
I read Lee's book and I found it extremely helpful. All the auto-suggestions, all the crutches, and the self-hypnosis. And I was really amazed by it. And this was a really big deal for me and I was really keen on stopping my stammering. And then Lee gave me the opportunity to Skype with him, and he saw my suffering and he really understood me, and I couldn't be much grateful. Lee then Skyped us, me and my 2 other sisters, and he learned a lot about me and my other 2 sisters, and I felt very hopeful in a very long time. And then I decided to give my best and work hard, because this is once in a lifetime opportunity. And I felt extremely lucky that I got to know about Lee. I gained confidence, I felt more free, I felt more happy, and my anxiety regarding stuttering was gone. One thing that helped me a lot was focus on your words and not your speech. This was something Lee said, and it did help me think a lot about this. This is actually really helpful, and I started speaking with more passion, modulating my words, And the biggest thing was I stopped stammering. It was a slow process. I wouldn't say that it did miracles overnight. It did take time, it did take patience, but in the end, it was worth it. And yes, now I can say my stammering is cured, which no one would believe, but I mean, if you do come here and if you follow Lee's book and his Skype sessions, it is actually cured. You can say that clearly. And this has been a wonderful experience for me, and I hope all the stammerers in this world get to take this path. What I would like to emphasize on is stammering is not something of a huge deal. Many people face such problems in life, and this is something which can be made into, we can take it into a positive way, and we can cure it actually. And I hope people come through, because it is really encouraging and motivating, and it really helped me out through my dark times and my tough times. And Coach Lee, he just kept on pushing me forward to do my best. And I once again thank Lee from the bottom of my heart, and rest of the coaches too. I really found motivation from the coaching videos and how they used to coach people, and it really helped me a lot too. And the other thing that helped me the most was the books, which is a must read for everyone, and the video lessons with all the coaches, and many coaching videos which will help a lot in stuttering and knowing how coaching here works. And I would emphasize that SAM meetings is also another beautiful place to interact with people who stutter and people who stop stuttering, and it's a very warm and the most friendly place on earth. I also thank the whole community of Ex-Stutterers. I'm very grateful and proud to be part of this community, and I believe that can truly help you cure stammering. And I wish everyone gets to see this video and they really join, so it can help them a lot.
Plugged in Lee's audiobook from Audible, and then the magic happened. Lee started putting in like a magician. He would understand the different concepts I had learned throughout my life, and he started putting them together, binding together like a tailor who stitches clothes, and it made the entire thing like a clear mirror in front of me, completely saying out to me that, Anand, look, this 1, 2, 3 punch so holistic that you will now beat the stutter. For everything I had learned just started making sense. It became so clear. I signed up for Lee's program. I committed myself every day in the morning, and probably skeptical if I will benefit. I started watching one video and then following time by reading aloud Lee's book. Then came the blessing in the form of my coach, Pratyusha. She was so helpful in getting me to understand, getting me to believe that what is stuttering all about. She took away all the mental yardstick I had set for myself. I started improving. There was a time when I could sense that Pratyusha had more confidence in my abilities than I had myself in me. She just kept me from dropping out. I felt I'm getting better as I speak in front of you. Calmly, I would remember Lee's first video on YouTube or his site, where he says that stuttering came as a blessing. I humbly bow down to everyone present in this meeting today, to everyone part of the SAM meeting, that it was you, your presence in the SAM meeting, that at some point of time had motivated me. Some success story you had posted, some practice video of all you have posted. I could use that to draw inspiration for myself and to push myself at that point when I thought I had stopped. And just because of your continuous presence here, I feel I was able to come up to this place. And with folded hands, I present to you my deepest gratitude.
Interested in accepting my stutter or learning to live with it, but in overcoming it. Therefore, when I sampled this Audible book and heard Lee talking about self-curing with the power of the mind, I was very intrigued. In short, this book delivered on its promises. No gimmicks, no misinformation, no snake oil. Lee doesn't promise to cure anyone, but to help people to cure themselves. His book quickly taught me that this speech thing was not something beyond my control. This strongly accorded with what I believed to be true and was simply yet to experience. I Skyped with Lee and practiced the crutches, reading out loud and hearing fluency. But fundamentally, the biggest game changer for me was that it increased my belief that things could change for the better. Without this belief, I never would have attempted to change my circumstance. Since Skyping with Lee, I posted a success story. Honestly, I must confess that since I've been quite inconsistent in applying these methods like auto-suggestions, as I was speaking to Lee about during our first meeting today, and reading out loud, I can do more of that. I'm currently working on being more consistent with these things, as not to fall back into old habits. But I'd like to give a special shout out also to Leah, who really helps me to balance these two things in my mind during our few Skype sessions together. I'm an ex-PWS on the one hand, despite the fact that I'm still working to reduce speech fears and anxiety. Similarly, as a recovering perfectionist, I'm learning to improve my speech while at the same time embracing its inherent messiness and imperfections. That's just part of communication. I'm grateful to you, Lee, for your labor of love and for this community. It's great to be in community with each of you. May God bless your selflessness, Lee, and the important work that you do. I'm grateful for it, and I hope that each of you who've attended this meeting and those of you that are listening to the recording gain something from my story. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Reading the reviews, I decided to buy Lee's audiobook, and that is when everything changed for me. As soon as I was listening to Lee's audiobook, I felt an immediate connection to him. I felt that he was an ex-stutterer, and the stories he was telling, I could immediately relate to. In particular, there was one section which was such an aha moment for me. When Lee talked about that it's actually quite a common problem for stutterers to struggle on their names. Like I mentioned, this is probably my biggest thing to overcome. And when he mentioned that, I felt like a sense of relief. Before that, I was actually beginning to think that it was just me and only I had this problem. And I didn't know how to overcome it. So that section didn't solve my problem, but I felt a lot better that it was a common problem amongst stutterers. From then, I had many coaching sessions with Lee and Leah, and they have been absolutely brilliant to me. They've told me the hard truth and what I needed to hear, and that's exactly what we expect from coaches. In September 2020, I submitted my PWSS success story. Overall, the benefits of being part of the SAC in this journey, I feel that I'm a lot more friendlier person than I ever was. I'm now like the first person to greet, or I'm making a point to be the first person to say, how are you? I like to think I smile a lot more, and I know I'm more free to speak my mind now a lot easier than I ever was. I actually also recommend auto suggestions to my wife, just to try and improve her life and trying to get her on that journey as well. I'd like to thank Lee, Leah, SAC. I'm forever grateful for the day I searched for an audible for Lee's book, and I came across your book. I'll never forget what these two coaches have done for me in my entire life.
I bought all the books that I could buy, and actually Lee's book was there back in the middle of the pile, and by pure chance I actually picked up the book and I read through the book, and I knew as soon as I actually start to read the book that Lee's been there before, because some of the stuff that he does describe I knew, and if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't know some of the stuff. So I said to myself, look, this book seems good enough to me. I will give it a bit of a chance. So I did read the book maybe 3-4 times. Me and Lee did Skype quite a bit. I now find myself nearly fluent 90% of the time, which is unbelievable just to me to say now, because back in the day, back in time, I wouldn't have thought I could do this at all. And to actually give a talk to all the people, I just couldn't do whatsoever. So this is a huge step for me. The main things I used that Lee said to me was the actual mind control was a huge thing for me. Just to say the words at the start of the day that actually what I prefer my day to go, and to feed in good stuff to the mind. For some of the group that sort of can't get it, or if it doesn't click yet, it will down the line. You just need to give up more time and just do the things that these guys do say to do, because as you know yourself, it does seem to work. Cheers to Lee. Thanks to Lee so much. Thanks for the book. Thanks for this year, for the group here, because this group, even though I sort of don't go here to the group too much, but I still replay it per week, because I feel that everyone here gives you that one tip that you can bring home with you. And that's such a good thing about the group, that you can learn one small thing, and then as actually we all know, one small thing can change so much.
Covered Lee's book, and because he shared his email address, I sent him an email, and to my surprise, he replied, and we started Skyping. He taught me how to practice the crutches, gave me tips about auto-suggestions, reading aloud, and self-hypnosis. After a few months of daily auto-suggestion treatments, practicing the crutches and reading aloud, and around 8 Skype sessions with Lee, I decided to give a presentation at work, which I had never done before. And in March 2018, I gave a presentation in front of a bit more than 30 people. It went really well. After the presentation, a few people that I have never met before went to discuss with me and told me that they truly enjoy my presentation. That's when I realized that I did it. I managed to beat stuttering, and I was so happy. The biggest impact that this has is on my job. 5 years ago, on a typical day, I would just talk for a few minutes. Today, I have to spend hours. This simply would not be possible if I had not met with Lee and if I had not read his book. It also has a big impact on my daily life. Before, when I had to meet a hairdresser, I would not choose the ones based on the recommendations of my friends. I would choose them based on which one has a website where I can book an appointment without talking to anyone. Today, when I book an appointment for a dentist or for a hairdresser, I do like everyone else and I just make a call. I would like to thank Lee for spending a dozen of hours of his free time with me and help me beat stuttering, which truly changed my life. I would like to also thank the coaches and the organizers of the SAM meeting, because the SAM meetings have been a true source of inspiration and motivation. One thing I take away from this experience is mind training. I would love to be able one day to speak in front of large groups, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people. And I believe that mind training can help me reach this goal. So thank you, Lee, and thank you, coaches.
Years ago, I found Lee's book, and I could identify with the topics, the experiences, and the challenges that were exposed in the book. So a few months after that, started the coaching sessions with Javier, who I have to say, he has been an amazing guide, and he has helped me a lot in improving my speech, even in ways I didn't consider it was possible to do so. So I really want to thank you, Javi, for all your time and your patience with me. And it was good to be able to speak to someone that had overcome the same issues as I did, and to get guidance from someone that I knew that could understand me. Because I think that was when I look back at the speech therapies that I attended, I don't think that the people that I spoke to, they really understood. But what I like during my time with Javi is that we worked on the mental aspect. Well, after 1 year of speaking with Javi once a month or once every 3 weeks, I feel proud to say that I have become a PWSS. And well, I not only enjoy talking more, but I feel more confident. I used to participate in all the school activities because I love that, and I lost that for I think for 10 or more years of my life because I didn't want to expose myself. So it feels good to have gained that confidence back. Also, the crutches have helped me to become a more eloquent and a better speaker. As with many aspects of life, there is no shortcut for this. I think that one of the first things that I had to realize is I need to be consistent. I need to put the work and the effort in, make this part of my daily life. Because it would be great, right? If there was, this magic cure, like, yes, now I can be fluent and I can speak everywhere, right? We would all love that, but that's not the case. So it's never too late, and don't be afraid to take that step forward to break all the walls that our mind has set in front of us.
I turned to this guy who had messaged me on Facebook. It was Lee, and we began to chat on Messenger a little bit. He introduced his book and his methods. So then we began to video chat. I read his book, which at the time was his second edition, I believe. And it really didn't take me long to realize that Lee had something very, very unique here, and also very working and worth a shot for me. So I really found like Lee got it. He got me. And I finally found a method that I could progressively work towards eliminating my fears, which for me were always linked to my speech. And I didn't have to speak unnaturally, didn't cost lots of money. Within a few months, I posted my SS. What worked for me, the crutches really helped me get through blocks, of course. And there's a couple that I use more than others, but we can chat about that later. More so, doing auto-suggestion treatments every day for me has made a huge difference. I employ them in the morning and at night, and possibly more than anything, just Lee's philosophy that you can let go of the past and that neuroplasticity is something that's possible, and that you can move forward one fluency memory at a time. For me, this made a lot of sense, and I went with it, and here I am now. And I really like SAC. It seems like a great place for us to help each other and to improve together. I also love to use mind training in other aspects of my life, and so I can just improve overall as an individual.
First moment I got Lee's book, I saw that this book made a lot of sense. Everything that he said, the way he explained and how he explained his book, how he explained what happens when we stutter and what happens in our minds and so on, that I think that the book by itself, it improved my speech like more than all those years of speech therapy. Then I sent an email to Lee and I asked him for help to finish the job and to stop stuttering, and he accepted, and we spoke like once a week for months. I stopped, and then I became a PW.
So it's Lee's book on Amazon. So reading all the positive reviews, I thought, why not give it a try? Reading the book, I was really positive that at long last I had something that will increase the fluency of my speech. I joined SAC and I was blown away by all the content on the site, and for $10 a month it is terrific value. Lee very kindly gave me a number of Skype sessions, and that was a great benefit.
2018 that I stumbled on Lee's book. I was literally just Googling stuttering and it came up on Amazon. While reading, I was amazed by these new ideas of self-hypnosis or suggestion and mind training, which I'd never heard of any of them before. I started Skyping with Lee shortly after and was just amazed that Lee was willing to give up his time to help a guy on the other side of the world who he didn't know. So a big thank you to Lee and Javier as well.
All of Lee's advice to be just fantastic. Like, he just had so many good ideas really to solve the problem, and unbelievable, like, problem that I struggled with for almost 2 decades is just completely gone now. Like, it's just absolutely unbelievable. So I just want to thank Lee for being willing to coach me and working with me, and I want to thank him for all of his fantastic advice and for setting up this fantastic organizations. Yes, I think that's just a fantastic idea to have people who are self-cured their stuttering helping others do the same. Ex-Stutterers are the best people to give advice to people who stutter.